Test 1, 2. A spectacular evening unfolding here in southwestern Ontario. We are at, of course, the St. Clair College Sports Park. OFC football action here on We Digital Productions. It's the Hamilton Hurricanes set to do battle with the St. Clair Saints. Good evening, everybody. My name is Dominic Papa. Welcome to another edition of Saints football here on We Digital. Of course, joining us on the broadcast, the doctor of football. No question about it. This guy knows this game inside and out. Another year with us, and we're certainly honored to have Badi Quas with us on the broadcast again this year. Second home game of the season, Badi, for the Saints. Fourth game of the campaign. They come into it at a perfect 3-0, and aside from the first game in London, really haven't been tested yet. We're hoping to see a little bit of a test here tonight, but this Saints team, they're the real deal, I think.
Absolutely. Their tests have probably come more in practice leading up to a game like this. Hamilton is one of the more established teams in the conference, and we expect a more competitive battle than what we saw last week with Quinny in town. That being said, the Saints have expectations, high expectations for themselves, so they don't want any letdowns with the visitors coming in today.
Yeah. Let's take a quick look at the standings, and you'll see where these teams are at this point in the season. Badi called it perfectly. Hamilton, one of the long, outstanding franchises in the OFC, but I don't remember ever the Hamilton Hurricanes being 0-3 at the start of a season. Badi, I don't know if you could remember it, but a little bit of a surprise that way. Obviously, this game, they got to come in pretty desperate. You look at the Saints; they're a perfect 3-0 and have been dominant for the most part. Looks like a mismatch, but I'm going to play the rivalry card. These two teams have a long rivalry of playing each other. They know what it means to beat each other.
Yeah, at 0-3, it is a little misleading. I believe they've already lost to London. They've lost to Ottawa, two of the other premier teams in the league. And they are deep. They have 80-some-odd players. I think they actually might have more registered players than the Saints have this year. So they just might be a product of a youthful team. We're going to see it in how it plays out today. The beginning of the year is one thing. It's how they finish, and I anticipate a well-coached squad, a team that has some depth to evolve into what they need to be by season's end, where they'll probably be a little bit more of a formidable foe.
We can tell you earlier today that London did defeat Ottawa in Ottawa. So London, again, showing their worth. That's a huge win for them on the road to defeat Ottawa. We've yet to see London here. Ottawa is going to be coming here still as well. So the Saints do have still the tougher part of their schedule coming up, and something that certainly they're going to have to be prepared for.
Yeah, with Hamilton twice, a home and away. They still have Ottawa, home and away, and still have to host London. So yes, we've seen it here the last couple years on We Digital. London has made big comebacks. Ottawa almost upset them. The reality of it is this is the start of their trek into the playoffs and hopefully hosting a national championship, because these are the teams in the league that are the most established and, quite frankly, the most competitive.
Let's look at some of the numbers, the offensive numbers for these teams coming into this game. And again, you can see the Saints' numbers are, your eyes almost pop out of your head and you say, are these stats for real? But after 3 games, 855 passing yards, rushing, obviously a great balance of rushing and throwing the ball. Of course, the touchdowns, 13 touchdowns already. Ottawa struggling there, Badi, with only 2 touchdowns. Receiving yards, pretty good receiving numbers there, even though they have 3 losses. Where does this game go, I guess, Badi? You look at those numbers, and how do you, I guess if you're Hamilton, how do you block it out of your head? And if you're the Saints, again, you can't take anything for granted here.
Yeah, starting with the Saints, I think they want to keep that balance going where they have a good mix of run and pass. That being said, Hamilton needs to find their identity. Are they going to now just be a passing team? Maybe that's their strength. Maybe abandon the run a little bit early to set it up later, but they have to find their way offensively. So it might take another game or two for them to do it, but I think that's going to be their goal. Find what they like to do on offense.
And of course, the Saints, they seem to do everything well right now. Of course, we can go right to the quarterback position, talk about that young man, Badi, and I know I've talked to Coach Morency, Coach LaChance through the week, and they're so very pleased with his play right now.
First of all, great players make great coaches, so they do have a wealth of great players, but I was speaking with Coach LaChance earlier, and for now a year and a half of watching Maurice play, I told him, I said, Mike, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Terrell Pryor back in the Ohio State days, and he was an athletic, big, tall, throwing cannon of an arm. He is a talented, multifaceted weapon that they can use, and they haven't yet unleashed him. Wait until he gets a full game underneath his belt against some of these tougher opponents coming up. I think the best is still in front of him.
That's a great point you also alluded to there, but playing a full game. Coach LaChance hasn't had to really do that. Especially in the last 2 games. They didn't even finish their 3rd game. It was cut short, but we've talked about this many times and how concerning that is, because it's these games that are going to prepare you for the postseason. And if you're fortunate enough to get out, play one of the Western teams, those teams always are very well prepared. How important is it for Coach LaChance to try to keep his guys in the game?
It is very important. From the offensive perimeter standpoint, there still only is one football. So you can only get the players involved on the perimeter a handful of times each game. For me, the continuity from an offensive line where there's a lot of new bodies, but they're very talented, 5 guys have to play together a lot of downs in order to sort of be in sync moving forward. If their quest is to win a national championship, it's going to be on the bigs up front to give them that continuity, and I really think the offensive line is the group that really needs to play 4 quarters, 55, 65 plays to find their mojo and their rhythm.
Lastly, before we take a break, and we're just a couple of minutes away from the opening kickoff here at the Alumni Stadium, or Acumen Stadium, I should say, here at St. Clair. This game, again, for Hamilton, I would have to say, is really a measuring stick. I mean, St. Clair has set the bar. The measuring stick is there. What does Hamilton have to do to give themselves a chance and also at least just make it a competitive game?
I think from an offensive standpoint, they have to invest in first downs. Whoever's calling the plays for them has to give themselves a chance to get first down. So their first down play call has to be critical. They have to be +3 every first down. If not, Coach Morency's going to have a field day with his defense, blitzing the heck out of them. From a defensive standpoint, I think what they have to do is minimize those explosive plays. St. Clair was explosive. I think already this year they have a dozen 50-plus plays on offense. That's a lot. If you can force them to go 7 minutes and score, at least 7 minutes and 1 off the clock, and you're still in the game rather than 17 seconds.
Well said. That's why he's the doctor of football, that's for sure. We're just moments away from the opening kickoff. It's the St. Clair Saints and the Hamilton Hurricanes set to do battle here. It's a beautiful night here at Alumni Field, a beautiful night here in, or I should say, I keep calling Alumni Field, it's Acumen Stadium. I apologize for that, but the night is perfect for football. Beautiful bright sunshine, a nice sunset. There's a little bit of a coolness in the air, which makes for great football weather. But he used to love playing in nice, cool weather. Kept him fresh, as he would say. So, but we're expecting a good contest. So we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, it's the opening kickoff. Badia Quas will join the voice of We Digital Productions, Justin Prince. They'll have all the action for you. Stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. We'll be right back with OFC football on We Digital Productions.
Also an All-American, second team in this time to right. Forward back line this time. Gets across the original line of scrimmage. Tackle just shy of the first down.
Burrell looks for a spot. Burrell shoots it and scores on the near side. One mistake ends up booking a trip to the prairies.
And a near-capacity crowd is just about set to go for OFC football. Tonight, the 0-3 Hamilton Hurricanes in town to take on the 3-0 St. Clair Saints here on We Did It All. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Windsor, Ontario for what should be an interesting matchup. The second home game for St. Clair's campaign in the OFC. Justin Prince alongside Padique Waz. Once again, happy to have you with us here from the Rose City. An interesting matchup. The Hurricanes looking to try and get their first win. The St. Clair Saints looking to try and keep the momentum going.
Hey guys,
A lot to talk about as we take a look at the coin toss down below.
4 for you guys. Okay, congratulations on getting this far, and hopefully have a great game tonight. You're the visitors, you get a chance. That's a tail. That's a head. You can call it. Tails have been called. We have tails. It's a tail. You have won the top. They're going to defer to the second half, so they're deferring. Your choice, guys. Kick, receiver, defend, end. They want the ball. Which end would you like to kick? Want to switch? Switch sides, guys. Saints will receive north end of the field. Second half. Shake hands, guys. Have a good half.
What happens, it's going to be interesting to see if St. Clair can keep what they've been able to keep doing momentum-wide forward. They've scored a lot of points.
They sure have, and I think the bigger question here coming in, and Dominic and I spoke about this, is going to be Hamilton. Hamilton needs to figure out how they're going to get a little bit of offensive momentum. It's not typical that they start 0-3. They are an established team in this league here. They have a big roster. They have some depth. They might just very well be young, and they have to figure out who they are. But the problem is they're going up against an exceptionally explosive St. Clair Saints team.
It was described by the CJFL specifically, multiple weapons to utilize on the offense for St. Clair. And the Hurricanes, they've been the opposite, having difficulty scoring points on the board. We'll see who's able to put the points up here tonight. It's going to be an interesting one in that regard. But as well, you're talking about a Hurricanes team obviously going to be hungry in general to try and do what they can to get in the win column here.
No question about it. The ultimate goal of every team once they take the field is to win. But more so than anything, for the way I see Hamilton playing out right now, is looking at their stats and not having really seen them live yet, just a few snippets of plays. They really do have to find their identity. Sometimes you might not get the win, but you win as a team, and I think that's what they have to sort of go for right now. They have to figure out who exactly they are. I think they may have to just choose to throw the ball an awful lot, but we have the opening kick from the Hurricanes.
They'll kick things off to St. Clair. St. Clair will kick in the second half. We're underway here in Windsor. Bumbako on the return. He cuts outside, gets spun around to about the 42-43 yard line. And here comes the St. Clair offense coming off a 58-0 win against the GTA Grizzlies.
Yeah, you'll see here on the replay, Bumbako, and I spoke with Coach LaChance. I said, I don't know how much experience he has returning the ball. He is dynamic, and I think when he sets up his blocks, those 17, 18-yard returns are going to turn into 25, 26, and he's bound to spring one sooner than later.
So the St. Clair offense all set to go with very good field position. Ken Soja, the quarterback. MJ Doyle Marshall sets up as the running back. Sent out to the outside, Lewis. Soja looks to throw, forced to scramble, runs across the line of scrimmage, darts around the 47-48 yard line. Gets brought down for a solid pickup, second medium.
Yeah, that's a promising actually sign for the Hurricanes. They actually got some pressure on Soja, and he forced him to scramble. He couldn't really set his feet and go through his read progressions. His athleticism, however, took over, and it turns it into a definite positive. And that's the thing, if you are playing an athletic dual threat type quarterback, he's always going to extend plays with his legs.
About a third of his yards picked up overall this season have come on the ground, more than 200 yards rushing this season at QB. 2nd and 4. Doyle Marshall goes for his first run of the ball game. Has it up for a first down. tries to move across the 50, brought down around the 49-yard line as they go in Hurricanes territory.
Yeah, I love the way Doyle Marshall runs. This is just an outside zone play, and he stays on his track. He doesn't deviate. Even though a defender presents himself, he stays stretching right to the sideline, makes one guy miss, and before you know it, 15 yards have come, and he's now breached the Hamilton side of the field, and they're set up at the 49. Nice, simple run from a very, very talented ball carrier.
Ball spotted at the 49-yard line, just about 2 minutes through the first quarter already. Glad to have you with us here on We Digital. They go on the jet sweep, trying to move on the outside to pick up a lot of yards there. That time, Ty Calhoun, he's able to get it up for a first down.
And that's something else Coach LaShawn said to me. He wants to involve some of his receivers on those little pop passes. That is a pass. So that goes down as a reception and passing yards. But they have some speed. They can stretch the field horizontally and vertically and with power. So it's a nice mix for the Saints, and it's already been on display all season long, and it's on display here early.
Push pass becoming a modern part of the game of football. We've seen it a lot in the past few years. Lewis, this time, sees a keeper. Soja from a high snap, breaks one tackle, tries to jet off a second, brought down around the 30, second and again about 4.
And that is a straight design run, and they are going to show Lewis in action, maybe draw a backside defender, and then they're just going to run a straight quarterback power to the left, and you see how athletic he is. He makes those guys miss in the hole. He easily stretches that down the field, picks up 7 yards, and he didn't even get a chance to really display his speed there.
So they mark it at 2nd and 3. Give him the spot at the 30-yard line. 3 wide receivers set up to the right. Said Calhoun again in motion. This time, Bobble on the handoff, trying to give it to Doyle Marshall. So Judd dives on top of it. Looks like he got to about the 30 on the dive, but that was not a clean handoff.
Not at all. I wasn't sure if Maurice was trying to pull this thing out and keep it, but you'll see the handoff here, and he rode him, and he just misexchanged. Now, the slot did get in the way, so that was sort of maybe destined to fail off the get-go, but at this territory here, they are going for it from the 29.5-yard line.
So they will try and see if they can break through here. 3rd down. 2 wide receivers on the near side, 3 on the far side. 3 set of the motion. They go to the similar play. Going to be close, then they do give him the first down. Doyle Marshall this time got a clean handoff.
Yeah, and now I've noticed something here, Justin. You'll see here on the replay. The snap, good thing Maurice is such a tall guy because this ball is sailing up over his head. That's going to throw some timing off, but the starting center from the last few weeks, Simon Keck, is not playing today. He was a late day scratch today, and he didn't get clearance to play, so that's something for us to keep our eye on. The mesh is always critical between center and quarterback, and when you're on your number 2, that's a concern if they keep sailing on him.
1st and 10 now for the 25. Soja looks to throw, has a man in the end zone, flag is up, contact for the wide receiver in the end zone in St. Kick's Park. And this will likely be our first pass interference.
What a bad penalty to take. That ball was not going to get caught. I don't care where it was, that ball was slightly overthrown. The Saints have the wind right now, and the ball was at least 5 yards out of reach. But you'll just see the defender 2-hand push right in the back. Just not a
Pass
good
interference.
That ball was over his head.
On
He
the
did
defense?
not need to. That landed
15-yard
5
penalty?
yards short of the
First down.
into the end zone. They'll walk off the 15 yards, and now there'll be a 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Not a smart play by the defender there.
Your referee today, Larry Rogers, by the way, he leads the crew. 4. The officials will touch upon that more in a bit. But 4 wide receivers bunched up to the left. Doyle Marshall cuts right. Picks up about 4 or 5 yards to make it 2nd and goal.
Yeah, and he was 1 point of attack block away from springing this. It just looked like the defensive end on the far side knifed underneath, and there he is right there, and he cut him down. that right tackle needs to push and drive everything wide and not allow a scrape to come back underneath like that. That could have been a walk-in touchdown because that hole was quite big initially.
Second and goal, 6 yards to pick up if they want to start the game off in scoring fashion. Almost 6 minutes through the quarter. Keeps it designed to the right, dives in, end zone, touchdown St. Clair. Scores, and the Saints are on the board.
Yeah, and this is where Hamilton's in a real conundrum. That was not a designed sprint out run. They were trying to flood the zone. They had what looked like a little sit-down out, a whip release route, but Hamilton's defensive backfield covered that, but then Soja just put his foot in the ground, and he realizes, you know what, I can get these 6 yards myself. Because you'll see how they go. They're not run blocking. They're trying to set that, and then Soja just comes up the field and says, I have a seam. I'm going to stretch my long 6'3" frame across, and sure enough, touchdown, convert's good, and their first possession, 6 minutes, and they score. Now, if you are Hamilton, Justin, that's not necessarily a terrible thing. They didn't get that big, explosive 30-second play. They forced them to go. If Hamilton can somehow take their drive and respond and kill half the quarter and get points, we have a ball game on our hands. We're going to have to see the offense and what they do.
So when we get the kick off, should have less than 9 minutes to go here. Already, Coach LaChance pumping up his squad after starting off in scoring fashion. The Hurricanes set up the return unit. Return unit just about ready to go here. Kickoff, booted away. Preston Knight on the kick. Turn from around the 10-yard line, trying to cut outside. Evan Zedarius picks up. Solid return to about the 25.
I have been utterly impressed. Last week they had a bunch of kicks. They scored a ton, or a couple weeks ago they had a ton of kicks because they scored 80 points against Quinny. But their coverage unit has impressed me. A ton of great-looking athletes out there. I don't see any gaps. Their gunners are doing what they're doing. Their containment, keep their leverage. Just the whole field seems to be blanketed in a sea of white today, and there's no running lanes. That was a good sort of setup return, but he only could manage to get to the 25-yard line.
So they set things up on offense for the first time today, looking shotgun. On the handoff, they go to the ground quickly. Gianluca Rocca picks up maybe a few, yes, about 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure he even got that much, but you need to be able to get more on first down. You have to make that a plus play, +3 every single time if you're going to compete against this. Because when you set this up, Coach Morency likes to bring that pressure, and he's going to force the quarterback to get rid of it quick. And in this case scenario, here it comes.
Dedge looks to pass, tapped, intercepted! Picked off by one of the defensive linemen, Jalen Burnett. He's got a convoy to the end zone, touchdown!
We do have a flag on the play. It was thrown in the scrum, so I don't know what this flag is going to be, but the way the referee is spotting it, it looks like it's going to be after the interception.
I have a push in the rear on the return team. From the 15-yard line, we're going back 10. It's going to be a 1st and 10 from 25.
All right, so the indication is a block in the back. So after the interception, they're going to negate the touchdown. So it's batted. Tremendous play. You have a push there, and let's see if we can pick up the block. And then sure enough, right there, number 21, unquestionably, and that was Gambi Kazadi who pushed a running back in the back. Good call, definitely a block in the back, but after the interception, so the Saints will scrimmage now 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
And not a great way to start off the passing game so far. The passing unit, less than 50% completion for the Hurricanes this season. So just now sets things up, ball spotted at the 25 after the penalty. Looking to throw, he looks left, flag already up at the line of scrimmage to the end zone. Touchdown, but a flag is down. Darius Brandt's on the catch.
Yeah, and that flag came out right away. I don't know if it was a defensive lineman who was lined up offsides or if it was the slot, but it came out immediately. Let's get the call.
Larry Rogers.
Offside.
Yeah, so the slot receiver.
Offside. On the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Yeah, it looked awfully close. You're given a little bit of a grace. If you're a motion receiver, you're given just a fraction of grace. So you're going to give about a yard. If you're timing it perfectly, you're allowed to sort of breach. But if you're clearly established over the line of scrimmage before the snap, that's what they're going to call. We couldn't get the wide angle look there, but I will say that I did notice a little bit of a jump on the top side of the screen. I wasn't sure if it was that they called, but now another penalty has backed them up.
So 1st and 15 instead from the 30. So John now looks to throw outside, finds France this time again. Gets about half the yardage back, 2nd down.
Yeah, and they might give him the first down because he made that one move, so that looks like it's awfully close, Justin. But I love that play there. You just need to know, you just burnt them deep over the top a couple times, and yes, they do give him the first. They're going to bail, so just take what they gave him. Big, strong arm quarterback. Darius France just had a touchdown taken off the field. He goes and grabs it, picks up the first down, and now they're going to be scrimmaging from the 15-yard line with hopes of pounding another one in early in this first quarter.
Already past the halfway point in the quarter. This frame has been flying. Socha. It's man short to around the 10, and whistles fly off the catch. That time, Alex McClelland.
And that's what I think this team needs to do maybe a little more of. They've been so explosive. They've been so good. There's nothing wrong with a first down pitch and catch of 6 or 7 yards. Those kind of plays are awesome because they can give you the confidence that you can march it down the field in all kinds of weather conditions, wind, in you, rain, because those passes are far more easily completed than going over the top all the time. Good job picking up a big chunk on a short pass.
2nd and 4, ball spotted at the 9. So Jack hands it off to Doyle Marshall. He tries to squeeze through some linemen. Gets himself to just around the sticks. And didn't get the yardage, it looks like. Signal is around the 6.5 yard line, 5.5.
And quite frankly, not tremendous blocking. There are 3 guys right there, and I see a lot of white jerseys standing up at the point of attack. Pad level needs to come down. They need to be able to get that. Doyle Marshall gave them a chance to have it at inches right now. And you can see from our camera crew, they are about 2 football lengths away from the first down.
And they do keep the offense on the field again. So Jen now sets things up. Fake going under center. Set things up with Doyle Marshall. Now they go for the squeeze play. Tries to go for the QB rush from under center. Gets it up for 1st and goal.
Yeah, and you better have a wedge in. In Canada, that has to be automatic. You get a full yard neutral zone, you better get this. So they'll come under center. The quarterback's going to get a little bit of help from everybody pushing forward ahead. You just lean the shoulders together and you drive forward. When you have a big, tall, strong quarterback, it should be automatic. And heck, they could do that 3 times in a row right here if they really wanted to, if they really needed to.
Under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter of play here. St. Clair sets up for 1st and goal from the 2. Receiver strips right, set up. Soja runs left, end zone, touchdown. His 2nd rushing touchdown. And the athleticism on full display so far.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll see here on the replay. He's patient. He's going to allow the defenders to declare where they're coming. So he's going to set, and then he realizes, you know what? The blitz came off the left. If Doyle Marshall can just get a little piece, I can come back off of that, and that's exactly what happened. As you see, the extra point gets converted, and it extends that lead to 14-0 right now. So after saying Saints sort of were shooting themselves in the foot with a couple penalties, they come right back and their full athleticism on display, as you said, with Soja picking up those first downs on the wedge and then on that quarterback draw.
So the Hurricanes now down 2 scores. So far, they've gotten a grand total of 2 offensive snaps off so far over the course of the first 9+ minutes. Already 11+ just about. We'll see if the offense gets some sustained drives here. All set for the kickoff. Booted away by the Saints. Turn from inside the 10-yard line. Looking for some cuts to Sidarius. Tries to move towards the near side. Brought down inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah, once again, great coverage. A lot of jumping around and bouncing around. Good job by the return man handling it clean. And then he pushes forward, but after about 7 yards, he's already presented by one of the gunners. And before you know it, he tries to bounce around, and there is just a wall of white. And that limits the return. Again, this time inside the 25-yard line, back at their own 23.
1st and 10. Hurricanes looking for something here. They have made a change at QB. Rhett Atwell behind center that time. Get a gain of a few to start off this drive, 2nd down.
Yeah, a little more positive play there. 4 yards, maybe a full 5. Just hand the ball off. The offensive line got a little bit of push. So when you get that inside push and you see the double team happening inside, they're able to create some space for the running back to find his way through. So good job by the offensive line creating a seam right up the gut for their running back to pick up a nice 1st down gain of 4.5.
2nd and 6 from the 27. Similar play. This time it's readed quickly. Tackle in the backfield. Ryan Nejum leading the way.
Yeah, and the linebacker just finds his way into it. Najim just works his way through. He's blitz, he's coming, he squeezes down, squares up, wraps. That's just textbook. He gets himself in a good leverage position where the running back had to stop his feet. Made a nice sure tackle, drives them back 3 yards, and now Hamilton once again behind the chains has to punt and give the ball back, and they're kicking into the wind, so the Saints should probably have pretty good field position to start.
Renault now back to punt for 3rd and 9 from the 24. Under 3 minutes to go in the first. And it's a shorter one. Picked up by one of the up men at about the 45. And Billy Patterson Jr. getting athletic with it.
That's an awesome job by Billy Patterson Jr. catching the ball right away, but my eyes told me that should have been a no yards, and that would have been the 15-yard variety. Let's see here if we can zero in on where this ball is caught and if there's a defender in the area. But this guy's 1.5 yards away from him.
We have a flag in live action. I think some of the Hurricanes just had a discussion with the officials. They threw a flag up.
So let's get the call. There it is. It is a no yard. So it might have come from a sideline guy that I didn't see. I didn't see a flag down. They did get the right call there.
No yards, Hamilton, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
If Billy Patterson wouldn't have caught that and it bouncing around, would have been at most the 5-yard variety, but because he caught it, they get the full 15.
And that moves him to the 30-yard line on the no yards. 3 in the motion. Doyle Marshall back to the ground. Hippity hops his way past the 20 for the 1st down.
Yeah, he's a powerful runner with speed, with quickness, with vision. He's a really nice all-around running back. I guess if I had one criticism, I'd like to see him maybe pass block a little bit better. But boy, he keeps good balance, good strength, good run. He is a very, very talented ball carrier.
354 yards on the season, coming up to 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And not a lot of carries, Justin.
Yeah, he's been able to do it with immense production so far. About 16.9 yards an attempt coming in. Saja looks to throw. Made by Lewis on the completion. Dives to the end zone. Touchdown, St. Clair, and the Saints go up 3 scores.
Welcome back, Javay Lewis. And there you have it. You got the All-Canadian from last year. CJFL number 4 ranked player in the country coming in the preseason poll. Just a tremendous athlete. He adjusts to a ball that was underthrown and down away to the inside, catches it, and then finds his way to the end zone. A nice effort all around by the All-Canadian receiver.
Set it up for the extra point this time. Kick is up. That help extend things here. Jack Lewis on the extra point attempt.
And you'll see here on the replay, Soija adjusts his guys. He gets them all set. He's under center. A little bit of pressure in his face after the play fake. And again, nice adjustment to a ball that's thrown down and inside. Catches it, extends for the pylon, gets in the end zone. Well, welcome back to live action. And now you have Soija, who has a couple touchdown runs of his own and a touchdown pass. Well on his way in the first quarter to padding his already impressive stats on the season.
Minute 36 to go in the first quarter. And so far, St. Clair has had 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Similar to what we've seen the last time out on this field. Preston Knight kicks it away. Goes a little bit shorter with it this time to about the 20. Returner trying to spin around. Zach Pereira gets to about the 25, and yet again, the Hurricanes can't get past about the 25 for the start of the drive.
Yeah, and like you said, that was a shorter kick, but tremendous coverage. The gunner presents himself almost immediately up right on the hash mark, and there you have it, a whole sea of white in there to clean up the mess. I did notice that the first game we saw, and it's continuing on here. Real nice special teams play from their kickoff coverage unit.
Asher Lavoie on the tackle. Clock rolls. And all but one receiver shuffle to the right. Looking to throw this time. They go, quick shuffle to about the 20. And that is going to go the wrong way. A few yards lost on the quick pass attempt to the running back.
Yeah, from my vantage point, let's see if we can pick it up in the replay. This looked like a fistful of mask here. Okay, so he just dumps it off to the running back, and we'll see here. Does he get high on the face here? I thought he did. And no, great call. It was all shoulder on the blade. That's why I'm up here, and that's why they're down there. It did look like it initially, but a good tackle. Outstanding effort there by, I think that was Mo Ibrahim who made that tackle.
We've had some stellar gameplay this season so far to touch upon, but passing game yet again for the Hurricanes, looking to run. Atwall throws, gets a completion, but doesn't get to the sticks. So third down again after the second 13.
Yeah, nice effort. Again, the protection breaks down just a little bit. You have guys right in his face right away. He looks patiently, works his way, turns his shoulders, gets enough on it to at least pick up a positive gain. However, not enough for the first down as the punt unit comes on.
Jenny Marchano on the reception as that brings back the captain, Tyler Nold, for the punt. 5 seconds, give or take, on the scoreboards here in the first quarter. And a timeout is taken here. For the first time today, St. Clair takes it.
Yeah, there was a little bit of confusion. I don't know if they thought maybe it was a first down. They weren't aware on the sideline, but they quickly called the timeout to get the proper personnel in for the return, because if they would have taken a penalty, 5 yards would have given Hurricanes the first down. And now, at the very least, you're going to likely be set up with good field position once again, as the Hurricanes are going to be punting. It's not a super strong wind right now, but as you saw in the first punt, it was already short on that attempt. Likely going to be set up near, if not in, Hamilton territory for their next possession as the Saints set their return here.
3rd and 5 for the punt situation. Again, kick returners and punt returners. Cameron St. Kitts Part and Daniel Bumbako this season. His priority. Able to just get it off. Bounces, picked up just around center field. Here's St. Kitts Park. He's going the opposite way, sheds off one tackle, tries to break another couple, got to about center field, and some Hamilton players have made their way into the middle of the sideline for the Saints. They get broken up.
Well, that's a little bit more like what I remember, a little bit more fire and fight in this case scenario. Decent enough kick. The Saints weren't able to field it in the air on the bounce. However, I think it was about a 40-yard run, but for a net loss of about 8 or 9 yards because he was never able to get back on track going north and south, and the tackle comes all the way back at sort of the midfield stripe rather than if he would have just pushed forward for 5 or 7 yards.
After a quarter of play, St. Clair up by 3 scores. It's 21-0 here on We Digital. As we get set here, we are very quickly set for the second quarter. This game is flying tonight. Very quick.
It is, and it's a cool night, so I'm sure the fans will be a little bit happier as the sun is already set.
High-tempo game already setting up 8 on the play clock. They look to throw. Soja finds France. France runs his way to the sticks. Gets himself to about the 45. First down, St. Clair in Hurricanes territory.
Alrighty, so early from my pregame conversation with Coach LaChance, that's another one of the things. Couple play-action plays, and then whip around on a little bit of a split-end screen here. So they'll smoke screen from the receiver after they fake the inside run, and there's never a problem when you get it in your playmaker's hands. And Darius France coming off, I believe he was the Rookie of the Year in the conference last year, one of the most explosive receivers in the league. And building off of what he did last year, just get the ball in his hands and he'll make you look good.
He's really being checked out by the training staff on the Hurricanes sideline before we get back going here. So a small stoppage, just about a minute through this second quarter. So overall, what were your thoughts on that first quarter with St. Clair's offense establishing itself again early? They have been scoring a lot.
They sure have, and they've able to involve a handful of people. I know Soy just seems to be the pivot, the lead on most of it, but they've hit a couple different receivers already. Doyle Marshall is doing Doyle Marshall things. I guess the thing that sort of impressed me the most right now is how active the defense has been by getting their hands in their pass rush right to the quarterback. Quarterback has not had any time to set his feet.
So they set things up for 1st and 10 now for the 45. 5 wide receiver set. Going sent to the left side of the QB. Doyle Marshall hops his way towards the left. Picks himself up a gain of more than 10, and St. Clair keeps the chains moving.
Yeah, so when you run a little inside zone running play, you'll see that he's going to press all the way to the right. And then once he sees there's a block, he makes that jump cut. Once he's through the hole, to the left. That's great vision, great footwork, and then the power to carry a defender for the extra couple yards for the first down.
1st and 10, now ball spotted at the 34. They set things up again with now 4 in the motion. Soja looks to throw quick. On the quick screen, complete. Gets another good pickup. St. Kitts Park twists his way around to get the first down.
Yeah, that was awfully close to a lateral. So you got to be conscientious making sure that's a forward pass. It looked awfully close to being a backwards pass, so we'll see here on the throw and where he catches the ball. And sure enough, it was forward, but forward by maybe a yard, but a nice job of at least establishing himself and getting into the edge and picking up, about 16 more yards there, and now they're at the 22 going in.
St. Clair keeps the chains moving forward and fast. 1st and 10 from the 22. This time, Soja goes under center. Goes for power O. On the handoff on the stretch. Doyle Marshall picks up a couple. That gets him inside the 20, however.
Yeah, that's a really good tackle because if that tackle's not made, there's a straight line right to that far cone here. And Soja, I like the fact that he had to stretch to get out there, force that. But if the offensive line can just engage a little bit longer, because that might have been a linebacker, if they could have maybe scraped up to that, I'd have to see the formation. But either way, the edge was set. The offensive line gave the edge to them. That flow from the linebacker just took that big run away.
2nd and 6, ball at the 18 now. And 3 set to the motion. They go back to a quarterback throw. Soja throws, end zone, tough catch, touchdown, St. Clair, St. Kitts Park.
Yeah, I was a little blocked out from our booth here to see it. It looked like he landed with the ball in his hands, and then after he was already down on his back, the defender then punched it, so he survived the ground from the initial catch, but then it was punched out. Maybe we can get a slightly different look at it, but either way, Soja had multiple people he could have thrown to, and he could have run. After they show the fake, they boot off of the run to the left. This offense is just rolling right now.
11:31 to go in the first half as the kick is up. And once again through 28-0. And so far it's been all St. Clair offense, the Hurricanes.
Now we'll see here on the replay. So they're going to fake the little run to the left here, and then he boots. And I'm telling you, he had multiple guys he can throw to. And he ends up going to St. Kitts. He's on the ground, survives it, and then he pushes it. That's awfully close, but that's in slow motion. I have to trust that the official had that because he was pinned against his chest, and then the ball was pushed out. We'll go with the call on the field. It would have been hard to do anything other than that because the ball landed, and there's the official game ball of the Ontario Football Conference.
Ball people once again keeping them well at bay, but the kick is away. Line drive this time. Up around the 20. This time the Hurricanes at least get past the 25. And in fact past the 30-yard line for this return.
Yeah, and the only reason why, because the ball didn't get higher than 10 feet off the ground. It was a line shot. The coverage unit had no time to get there. But they still got there only at the 32-yard line.
So now, what do the Hurricanes do? Because I was about to say last time out for them, 65-3 to London.
Stay with whatever your game plan is that you think is going to serve you best for later in the season. Get the reps needed to be better at the end of the year. So if you want to establish the run, then run the ball. Just like that. If you want to pass every down, pass, but you have to figure out who the heck you are.
Well, they do run the ball there and do it well.
So under center, just an inside zone running play, actually more of an ISO because the fullback let up. They were able to turn out block and get the fullback up underneath the first spot linebacker, and then next thing you know, they pick up 9 yards.
And here's so that time of the run, 2nd and 1 from the 41, and they stay I formation. Going back to the similar play design, and this doesn't look like they got there. No, that's third down again.
Well, it looks like they're bringing out the punt unit, but for me on 2nd and 1, I'm an offensive line guy. That's where my heart is. I want to wedge that ball. It was 2nd and 1. Get under center, put it on your offensive line. You get 1 yard neutral zone. Just quarterback sneak that thing and get the first down. Give your offensive line that confidence. Instead, they hand the ball off deep. They give the Saints a chance to make a play in their deep offensive backfield, and sure as heck they did.
About 10 minutes to work with in this first half now. The punt unit sets things up. Good punt, bounces way past the 40. Bumbako tracks it back. Takes it back across the 40, across center field. Bumbako through traffic, gets brought down at about the 34-yard line. And again, good field position has been the name of the game.
It will be negated. There is no question. There is a flag on the field, and it will be 100% a blindside block. It's a peel back block. You'll see once the ball is caught coming into the screen, you'll see somebody working back right there. He was working back towards his own goal line. That is an illegal block, so this is probably going to set up inside their own 25-yard line from where I gather the penalty occurred.
That's going to move them back 10 yards back for the spot of the foul.
Well, if it is the major foul, it could be a 15-yard penalty. But we'll see where they absolutely put this. Let's get the call.
On the offense, from the spot of the foul, 10-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so they only go with the block in the back, the push in the back, rather than the blind side. So maybe there wasn't that forcible contact to any head or neck area. Regardless, it clearly was the right call, and it sets them back at their own 30 rather than at the Hurricanes' 30.
1st and 10. Doyle Marshall still the back. So making adjustments at the line. Still has 12 on the play clock. So off the high snap again. Doyle Marshall gets himself within 2 yards of the first. 2nd and short.
Yeah, and that was a violent collision there. That was a big hit that Doyle Marshall absolutely unquestionably delivered on that run, but we do have an offensive lineman down, and it looks like it's a leg issue because he can't really put much weight on that right leg, and that is big number 64, Jaden Caston, a local product. And you'll see here Doyle Marshall, it could very well have been a little bit of friendly fire because sometimes it's when somebody rolls up on you, and it was part of the tackle, so he got rolled up on his leg. But the nice thing is he is walking on his own, under his own power. Looks like he's putting all his weight on his foot. So maybe just a couple plays off and he'll be right back. But again, a high snap, little concerning. That quarterback used all of his height to get that one. But what a powerful run by Doyle Marshall, who picked up about 8 yards on that carry.
So with him on the sideline, now talking things with the training staff. Ball spot at the 38 for 2nd down. Set up again with 3 wide receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Looking to the ground, Doyle Marshall gets the job done for the first, cuts across the 50, wants more than the job done, gets tackled by the shoestrings, brought down by Jeremy Hicks at around the 45.
Yeah, and you're right. That was a shoestring tackle. A great run. Nice point of attack blocking. Doyle Marshall was able to get a full head of steam as he broke through the line of scrimmage and didn't really get touched, and that momentum carried him forward. And you see the fluidity with which he runs. He can change directions and move, but he still has the power to run over people. Like I said, I guess if I had any criticism, I'd like to see him be a little bit more of a physical blocker in the pass game. That's it.
1st and 10 from the 43. So Joe keeps it himself, spins, gets himself another 2nd and short.
A straight design quarterback power, this time led by Doyle Marshall. And in the run game, Doyle Marshall is a little bit better. I've seen him do that a few times this year and even dating back to last year. When it's from a run game perspective, he's very physical and aggressive. It's when he has to settle in a pass set. He made a nice block to spring Maurice Soja for those 8 yards.
2nd and 2 from the 35. Looking to try and set things up. Built 7 in the box. Soja looking to throw. Fake the option. Tries to get it to Lewis, incomplete. And a rare incompletion for the ball game.
Yeah, it looked like he had that option to keep it if he wanted to on this sprint out, and then just made a late decision that, you know what, I'm going to throw this, and it was just a little bit behind his receiver, and Lewis wasn't unable to corral that, and bringing up a 3rd down and 3, and the offense staying on the field, which is expected. You're trusting your guys, if not your defense bails you out 90% of the time. With the way they're playing today against these Hamilton Hurricanes.
3rd and 2, ball spotted at the 35. They look to the ground game. Doyle Marshall. Did he get enough there?
He sure did, Justin. And this is something that I wanted to see from the Hamilton coaching staff earlier. 2nd and 1. Just trust your offensive line and go get it. Look, it's 3rd down and almost a full 3. They're just going to say we're giving it to the best running back in the conference, and he's going to get the momentum. The offensive line got some good push. He was able to find the crease, pick up about 5 yards, and move the chains. Sometimes you just have to impose your will with a simple play. I like the fact that that is their bread and butter. Doyle Marshall is the best back in this league, at least in my opinion.
1st and 10 from the 31. 3 again in the motion. They fake the handoff. Soja nowhere to go. Brought down for the sack. Leading the way, Ben McLeish.
So real good pressure from Hamilton. They decided to bring some extra bodies here, and the run fake action really confused them because they brought the half, and when the quarterback turned his back, he couldn't identify where the blitz came from, and as soon as he turned around, it was gone. Now the only problem is if you're Hamilton, St. Clair usually just drops back, puts 2 guys in the slot, sends them on straight verticals, and the quarterback has a choice who he's throwing to if one of the halves get flat-footed.
2nd and 18 from the 39. First for driving long on said game tonight. Now sideline. Wynn takes it, carries it out. Incomplete.
So now they should be punting this ball here, and it looks like the punt unit is coming out here. So a good hold. Hamilton needs to take a positive out of this. It looked like Soja just wanted to air one out to one of his big receivers to see if he can catch it. And as you said, Justin, the wind just sort of pushed that a little wider than they wanted. And now let's see if the punt cover team is as impressive as the kick cover team, and if they can punt and pin them deep.
Knight goes for a high punt. Bounces around the 15. Picked up with the no yards flag popping up out of bounds at around the 20 or so. But again, a no yards flag is out.
Yeah, and that'll be the 5-yard variety. Maybe the wind held that punt up. You saw it balloon up just a little bit. You probably wanted that thing bouncing closer to the 7 or 8 yard line. I think it actually landed at around the 16-yard line. And as you see there, it's a perfect angle of where it did. So clearly a no yards. At the end of the day, it didn't really hurt them, didn't benefit Hamilton.
Got no yards. Got some Saints, 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
And that will move it to the 27. They go I formation again. Clock now moves. Less than 5 minutes to go. Again the run. And it picks up a few on the pickup. And again, I formation seems to be how they're preferring to run it. Rocca again on the run.
Yeah, and that has been sort of their positive. Their stats this year have not really indicated that they can run or pass the ball with any kind of efficiency or effectiveness. Ultimately, they got to find who they are, and at least they're showing a little bit of something, a little bit more fight with the run game.
Huso, should correct myself, is the back here as they look to throw on 2nd and 8. Get a completion, but again, short of the sticks. Short completion, 3rd and medium.
Yeah, and in that case, the receiver has to, it's a running back, so he takes a play fake and he does just a little bit of a leak, but the ball is sort of on his sort of outside stretch hip, and he had to spin to catch the ball. A little bit too much on it. If he would have just lofted that, the running back can keep his stride and maybe get it, but the little too much zip turned him around, and he had to slide for the catch, which is going to bring up the punt unit.
Quickly approaching the 3-minute warning here. Nold sets up, punts it away. Clean punts throughout the night so far. St. Kitts Park takes it across the 50 into Hurricanes territory. And Now getting a little bit physical, but it's still a physical play to get the ball moved up.
I really like this partnership on the return team between Bumbaco and St. Kitts Park. When the other is receiving the ball, his partner is blocking for him. Bumbaco made a key block that sprung him to break into Hamilton territory. And I've seen St. Kitts Park do that a couple times already. I love that partnership in the back end where they're willing blockers for their return partners.
Just a couple moments away from the 3-minute warning. 1st and 10. Ball placed at the 53. Soja looks to keep it himself, has the first down. Can't break the tackle, but gets himself to around the 36-yard line.
Straight zero ISO. It's just up the center's butt here. Quarterback is just going by himself with a lead blocker from Doyle Marshall. And Doyle Marshall, if he would have kept maybe to the zero hole, may have been to that guy who made this tackle, which was the safety. But that's just easy 15-yard run.
So 1st and 10 from the 37. Inside the 3-minute warning here. So just getting the signal as the refs blow it in. 3 receivers bunched up on the right. Soja looks towards the right. Flag is up. Soja takes on the scramble. Gets to the sideline. Jukes his way around. Stepped out of bounds inside the 20. But again, St. Clair has it signaled their direction.
Yeah, there's a flag on the play, and it was already indicated by Larry Rogers that there was a hold. It did look like one of the offensive linemen at the top of the screen. I'm not sure if it was 64 or 77. Maybe got their arm just extended a little bit, but we'll get the call from the head referee in the white cap here, but this is coming back for sure.
Just getting things sorted here with the flag.
Holding, 69 on the Saints. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So you'll see here on the replay at the top, yeah, it looks like it's number 77. He had a fistful of jersey as the defender tried to work his way in, and it negates that big, long run.
1st and 20. Ball placed to the 47. Boland take it over to the left side of the QB. Look to throw again. Scrambles away from one. Soja tries to throw it out of trouble, gets it out of trouble. McClelland makes the catch near the sticks. 2nd and short.
Yeah, and that was just a off-schedule play because the pass rush got to Soja. And that was a defensive tackle. Just beats the right guard, and Soja does a nice job of extending the play with his leg, and his receiver finds, about 18 yards or so after the penalty.
That sets up 2nd and 1 from the 28. Soja now sets things up again with the 3 wide receivers bunch moving to the left side. Coming up to 2 minutes to go. Soja hands it off to Doyle Marshall. Doyle Marshall sprints for the first down, spins, just gets around near the 10-yard line, maybe at it.
Again, a little bit of a high snap. It's throwing the timing off. Like, I think Doyle Marshall hits that even faster. And don't get me wrong, he still picked up a lot of yards there. But the snap is getting high. If this quarterback isn't as tall as he is, there might be a problem.
Doyle Marshall is spotted at the 10, so 1st and goal now. The clock now moves on the scoreboards in stadium. $28-0 St. Clair. A lot to talk about at halftime. The halftime report, Don Papa standing on by for that. Soja looks to throw. End zone intercepted. Picked off by the Hurricanes. And Soja's first major mistake of the ball game. He has it intercepted in the end zone. Sean Hussein on the interception.
Yeah, something very wrong here because there were two people driving to the post. Two receivers on top of each other. I'm positive that's not going to be the design of that. The spacing was awful. It just brought too many bodies in there. Not to mention it wasn't a great throw, undercut easily by the safety. Just a bad decision and a bad combination of plays from the receivers.
In live action, first down doesn't go anywhere. Actually, might have lost some yardage. And the whiteout in the grandstands tonight, seen majority of the fans tonight with white shorts provided to them at the gates to enter tonight's ball game. Griff, very much entertained in said shirt.
Yeah, very much entertained. Griff was having fun there.
Fans having fun tonight. 2nd and 12. The Hurricanes looking to try and see can they have some fun. They go something different. They go outside with it this time, nearly to the 20. 3rd down.
Yeah, they do their own little pop pass, which was great. They picked up some good yards. It makes the decision a little bit different now. If they would have stayed inside their own 15-yard line, you would argue maybe concede the safety and force the ball back to the 35-yard line. But now that you're at the 20, I'm guessing they're going to punt the ball away. I'm guessing they don't want to give up the points here. There's a little bit more breathing room. You are kicking with the wind, but it is imperative you do not have a letdown on this special team and give the Saints a chance to make up for that bad interception.
Under a minute to go. And the Hurricanes letting time go. They have a few seconds to punt it away, and it looks like they will just take the safety. Trying to bleed some time off this clock here with how they're sprinting around here. They go all the way to the back of the end zone.
And you know what? I don't mind that decision at all. I guess if you were doing that decision, I would have only done one other thing differently, Justin. I would have taken the penalty. I would have taken all 20 seconds off the clock. They're going to back you up 10 yards, which means you're just back further in your end zone, and then I would have run around and done that. I'm okay with the conceding of the safety. I just maybe would have taken those last 7 or 8 seconds off and just taken the penalty. Who cares? It's not a loss of down when it's already 3rd down. They're just going to back you up 10, and they probably would have had maybe 22 seconds left on the clock rather than 31. And I'm talking minor little things there, so we're at least on the same wavelength. It's not a bad decision by the coach. I just might have exercised it a little differently.
So coming up to 30 seconds to go here, round 30. St. Clair has the ball now placed at the 35.
What you can't have is St. Clair being their explosive St. Clair, as you see a beautiful helmet there in our camera.
How will they close out the half here? About to find out. Getting their 5 wide receiver look. 3 in the motion. They go to the running game. So Judd keeps it himself, gets it up for a 1st down, dives out of bounds, gets spotted around the 47-yard line.
Okay, with loose coverage and 1 timeout and getting out of bounds, maybe Coach LaChance is just setting something up where they're going to take one more play, maybe get themselves in a situation where they can get to around the 45-yard of Hamilton and let Soy just big arm heave one into the end zone. Maybe, just maybe, they are doing that or trying to do something like that with that play call.
So the ball is now placed at the 49 to review. Soja looking to now throw it. Goes up the middle, complete. That brings us to around 15-ish seconds to go. Calhoun on the reception.
Okay, and it doesn't look like the Saints are calling a timeout, but they are organizing quickly, so they want to get at least one more play off and then get their timeout so they get the last play into the end zone possibly.
Looking Extend the lead here. Soja finds a man complete. Picked up by St. Kitts Park. He takes it out of bounds to stop the clock with about 7 seconds to go.
All right, so now they've done exactly what I think they wanted to try to do. This is a good practice session for the Saints. Hey, under 2 minutes, in this case it was 30 seconds. Can we pick up and get ourselves in a pseudo-scoring position? This case, not field goal position. Hail Mary, you never know. You practice these situations in games. Overload aside, have 3 guys push deep, have a trail guy for the back. Maybe they can find something here just before the half. You practice it, you might as well execute it in a game.
So the ball's at the 40. Could be one of the final plays, if not the final play of the half. Soja throws it short, complete. St. Kitts Park sheds a man. Clock at 0. St. Kitts Park takes it all the way. End zone, touchdown.
Was that Darius France who just made an absolutely enormous block there? Not only was there a broken tackle, that's just a simple little curl. There's no way that should be a touchdown. There is no way you're able to go from your own 35-yard line in 30 seconds without a mistake on the defense. And the defense clearly made a mistake there. But when we get a look at that replay, I'm telling you, that's what I love right now about this team. They are willing blockers at every level. I already talked about the partnership in the punt return, kickoff return group. Watch the receivers here after this extra point.
And the flag is up.
Okay, so we had some movement. We had the defense jumping, but no one really breached the line, and then the offense responded. So is this going to just be a 5-yard back, and or maybe they'll enforce it on the opening kickoff of the second half?
We'll see here.
And there could be one on each side. We'll see.
Just getting the last of the orders marched through. Let's take a look.
Correction. Offside. On black. That penalty will be.
Yeah, so it was deemed that the defensive player caused the offensive man to move. So here's the replay. And look, Soja's going to drop it off. Okay, makes one man miss, but watch here at the top of the screen. It was Darius France. Boom! What a great block. Without that block, St. Kitts Park can't get to the end zone.
That penalty applied in the second half kickoff.
I really love that.
The extra point will be trying to get.
The effort is so there as willing blockers.
Penalty to be enforced at the end of the second half kickoff. As this should close the first half here. Kick is good, and your first half's complete. After 30 minutes of play, the St. Clair Saints offense is clicking again. 37-0 at the half. Halftime coverage with Don Papa coming up. You're watching We Did It All from Windsor.
Welcome back to Acumen Stadium here on the campus of beautiful St. Clair College here in Windsor, Ontario. OFC football action here on We Digital Productions in association with St. Clair College. The Saints looking every bit dominant in that first half. 37-0 they lead the Hamilton Hurricanes after 2 quarters of play. We always get an opportunity throughout the season to talk to some of the movers and shakers here at the college, and certainly this gentleman here, Ron Segan, the advisor to the president and oversees all of the athletic department here at St. Clair, continues to work hard and work with a great staff here. Ron, thanks for doing this with us. And 37-0, we like that. We like a lead. I think the expectations for this team obviously extremely high this year, and and they've shown why the expectations are high.
Yeah, it's they worked hard off season, Dom. They recruited hard, they worked out hard, and I think we're a little further along than some teams right now. Anticipate some of those teams catching up as the season goes, but Coach Mike LaChance and Coach Morency and them, if anybody works harder, I don't know who they are.
They do an amazing job, and a lot of experience of coaching and recruiting. I think it all just pays off. And let's go back when we got this franchise to come here, Ron. When you set it up, you got the stadium built. You had to get a team here. You got this team. You brought them in, and really, right from the get-go, it was no secret that this team, this program, was going to set a new precedent in the OFC. And I think it's done. I think the word is out. And as you alluded to, some of the other teams are going to catch up. And they've watched and witnessed what St. Clair has done here. How tough was it, though, to get it going, and how proud are you of where it's at today?
It was a long road. I mean, getting the facility built was a challenge, and then COVID didn't help. That was our first year of football that ultimately was canceled, and then we had to play in a COVID year, and everybody did. I mean, it wasn't a St. Clair thing, but the dream of young men in the skilled trades, paramedics, firefighters, being able to study and play football together at their school was the dream. And we got 75 student athletes from all over Ontario, all over Canada, all over the world. And we're chomping at the bit. Football's in the air, and we're winning big right now. And that's a bit of a trap sometimes, right? We know that. So the focus and the hard work will get us through. And but to answer your question, the dream was this, and good crowd tonight. And Ottawa next week will draw a big crowd. So yeah, we're quite happy.
For sure. And the other thing you can also boast about now, Ron, is a player signed a pro contract in the offseason. Izat is now with the Montreal Alouettes. Great young man, came from England, as you talked to all over the world, and he's made something really special happen. Again, it just speaks volumes about the program, about what the league is capable of doing is producing some professional football players.
Yeah, I mean, Ezek took a university degree from England and added a postgraduate diploma here, won all kinds of accolades in the school, and a Westby Award, if I recall correctly. And he's wearing the red and blue in Montreal right now, and there's a couple more out there tonight, every bit as good as Ezek, and I'm hoping some CFL teams are watching a couple of those big kids out there.
I think, with the formula that you've created here, Ron, with this team, and I covered this league for, I don't want to say how many years because I might get kicked off the broadcast, but I could remember when the CFL was a realistic goal for a lot of the players. They came and played here to get to the CFL. It's nice to maybe get that thing kind of going again and at least get some talk about it. And you hear about some CFL scouts calling about players, asking questions about players. So that seems to be happening again.
Yeah, well, it's a year-round program. I mean, the weight room we invested heavily in the weight room. Again, Coach Mike, the guys buy in. They're living in the weight room. It's become a 12-month program, and I think it's starting to get attention. There are some really good kids on both sides of the ball out there for us now, and we got to stay healthy. We got to keep working, but we got to take care of ourselves. The rest of the league will come around, and don't kid yourself. The western side of things is extremely strong, but that's a long way off. And we've got to finish up tonight, get ready for Ottawa next week, and it's. Thank you to WeTV, always getting the exposure out for kids around Ontario to watch tonight and say, I'd like to play at St. Clair. And that's been a huge partnership, and it's thriving.
Yeah, I know it's a partnership we all enjoy, and we're certainly thankful to St. Clair for that. Let's change the channel just quickly if we can, Ron, before I let you go. I want to get into some of the other stuff. Again, another huge year of athletics coming up for St. Clair. You got the basketball team recruited very well in the offseason. Of course, soccer has already started. We saw them in action earlier today. The softball team seems solid again. But the one event that I really want to talk about that maybe doesn't get as much attention to sport, but that I'm excited about, and we're going to try our best to be part of it anyways, is the cross-country team under Coach Paul Boots. And you're going to be hosting the national championship there in November.
Yeah, national championship. It's not necessarily a spectator sport. It's a grueling sport. I mean, those kids work really, really hard. And Booter, as we refer to him, is nationally recognized coach, and his staff. We're good. We've recruited really, really well, and that's a national championship at Malden Park, and we hope to be hosting another big event that day as well. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it was good to get off today. Our men's baseball team, we're in Sault Ste. Marie, played very well. Ladies softball played very well. We're good tonight, and we believe well recruited in all 16 teams. So here we go.
As always, amazing stuff. And boy, if you haven't, chimed into a little bit of the St. Clair Saints scene here, they call it Saints Nation. It truly is a nation. It's a big family here, folks. You come to one of these games, and it's pretty special. The atmosphere is special. There's a lot of great scenes behind the scenes of the games, but everything's done at a very high level. And boy, talk about great entertainment and something special in our community. If you don't or haven't been to one of these games yet, give yourself a chance and take a little bit of time out, come out and see this stuff. It's really, really, really good stuff. Ron, continued success to you, and again, thanks for all your hard work. And I know you're almost into that retirement mode, so you've earned it, but congratulations on everything up to this point.
114 days, not that we're counting, Don, but thanks to WeTV, your guys have become like family. And how many games did you do today? This is game 5. It's game 6. I'd like to say take tomorrow off, but you can't.
We got 5 more tomorrow.
But you know what? Sports is a great thing, isn't it?
I don't think any of my guys would want it any other way. I know I wouldn't. And again, we're honored to be here. That's for sure. It's a great atmosphere, and our team really enjoys working with the Saints team. And it's turned out to be a real special partnership for us. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to let Ron go and count day 114 and 113 and wish him luck with all that. But a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to check in with the doctor of football, Badia Quas. We'll get his thoughts on that first half, try to look at some of the numbers, and we'll get set for the second half kickoff. You're watching OFC Football on We Digital Productions.
But he was also an All-American, second team in this time to right.
Shoots it and scores on the near side. One mistake ends up booking a trip to the prairies.
Welcome back to a quiet Acumen Stadium for now as we're in halftime. The St. Clair Saints in control of this one over the Hamilton Hurricanes, 36-0 after 2 quarters of play. As promised, joining us on the broadcast, you heard him call the game with Justin Prince. Badia Quas joins us. Badia, I mean, not really surprised. I have to say the Saints really came out focused. I mean, part of the head coach's job is to have these guys come out firing out of the gates. I think you got to give Coach LaChance credit on that. These guys just came out firing tonight.
100%. That opening drive was exactly the conversation I had with Coach LaChance. He wanted to get some screens. He wanted to get some play action. He wanted to get his underneath stuff going, and they did. And they had a 6-minute drive, capped it off with a touchdown. So that discipline and focus on that opening drive, I don't know if he scripted plays, but the reality of it is if it wasn't or was, it was executed perfectly, and that's what you want to come out of against a team that you expect to beat.
We'll take a look at some of the action here. And Maurice Soja, I mean, this kid, he played last year, and you could tell he knew what to expect this year, and he's come in just that much better.
100%. He is such a gifted football player, gifted talent, and he makes things out of nothing at times. When he does have the time to throw the ball, his accuracy is high. He made one lapse of judgment on that interception, but that being said, I don't even think it was a terrible decision on him as much as it was, I think his receiver screwed up. There were two guys on top of each other in the end zone there, which doesn't help your quarterback. But you saw, he threw touchdowns, he ran for touchdowns, he's getting his guys involved. There's Darius France getting involved on that little slip screen, smoke screen. He is sharing the wealth. He's getting everyone involved. And of course, when you have a guy like Doyle Marshall, who is there to draw all kinds of attention on you and welcoming back the all-Canadian Javay Lewis, it's awesome that they're firing on all cylinders and everyone's getting involved.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Hamilton, they're just trying to get something positive going. Not a lot of bright spots for the Hurricanes in that half. And here you see the Saints defense controlling everything. If you're Hamilton and you're the coach of this team, but I guess you just take it a play at a time right now.
Well, at one point, I thought the first drive that Hamilton, what the Saints had, Hamilton did a good job of at least not giving up the explosive plays. So, okay, no problem. Then the first quarter got away from them. It was 21-0. And then the Saints scored quickly in that second quarter to make it 28. But it was 28-0 with 30 seconds left in the game. And then the Saints got the safety, and then they got the touchdown to extend it to 37-0. That, if you would have told me it was 28-0 in the second quarter, they only gave up 7 points, Hamilton probably would have went in the half saying, okay, we made some mistakes, but we battled back, we stuck in the game. But those last 30 seconds absolutely devastated them, and that's something you can't have happen from a player pride standpoint and from a coaching staff standpoint. They didn't make the wrong decisions. They just have to finish those plays off. Don't give them anything easy, and they just gave them too much easy at the end.
If you're Coach LaChance, you're faced again with, the starters. I mean, he's trying to get them some playing time, but also Coach LaChance always very respectful and classy. I know he doesn't like to run up a score, but I'm sure we're going to see some of the other players get some playing time, which is a good thing. But just depending on how you're looking at all this, the starters got to get some playing time, buddy.
Yeah, they have some tremendous depth, which a lot of the times they don't lose a beat when their backups are in, but you still have to play 4 quarters of football because your next couple weeks are Ottawa and London. And you have teams that you're likely going to have to play 4 quarters of football with, and it's not easy to come off of 3 straight games where you're barely getting any plays. 12 plays, 14 plays amounts to what? 4 game minutes, live game minutes? That's not a lot of football. Not to mention, you want to get film on your team. Real good teaching points. So they might have to extend this well into the 4th quarter.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens there. And, of course, you and Justin don't miss a beat as well, and we appreciate what you're doing there. We're going to take a quick timeout. The two teams are filtering on back to the field here. When we come back, it's the call of the 3rd quarter, OFC football on We Digital Productions.
All set to go for the second half of play here. Welcome back to We Digital's coverage here from Acumen Stadium. 37-0 is your score line as Badi get ready for the start of the second half of play. You're just mentioning that Hamilton deferred here.
Yeah, they deferred. They won the opening coin toss and deferred, so it's going to be their choice. I would suspect they're going to take the ball. So that means you're going to see the Saints kicking off. The Saints will kick off from 5 yards closer because the end of the first half saw an offsides call that they were going to apply in the start of the second half. So Hamilton will start with the ball. They will work into the win for this opening half. And the Saints will get the benefit of those extra few yards on the kickoff.
They get all set up for the start of the second half. St. Clair's offense clicking. It's going to be very curious for the stats ball by the end of this one. But better yet, what happens from here on out for the season? Again, a dominant first half offensively. It's been the story of the season. the offense has been near untouchable.
Not to mention the defense. The defense has been fantastic against Quinty, was fantastic in the opening game against London on the road. So you got to give the defense, special teams, all the credit in the world as well. That being said, is it going to be one of those situations where late in the season, which we've seen here a couple years ago, where in a closely contested battle, they aren't as comfortable? This year, they haven't been in that closely contested battle. Let's hope that the next couple weeks proves to be beneficial for the development of the Saints team, because they're going to be playing Ottawa and London in the upcoming weeks.
Start of the second half here. Knight boots it away. Ball bounces around the 20-25-yard line. Return to about the 26-27. And a swarm of defenders ready for that one. So,
yeah, a short kick bounced, which helped the Saints coverage unit get down there. And once again, not much on the return. I think they picked up about 7 yards there, barely breaking the 25-yard line, And very, very impressed with that coverage unit. But I guess it's easy when you have such tremendous athletes. They have big, tall, long, strong athletes on that coverage unit.
They start off this second half in the shotgun. Looking to throw. They go short. It's complete. Across the 35, and the Hurricanes get a first down. It's been a struggle to do so today.
Fumble.
But another one. Wow.
Of course. So they run a nice little pick play, and it was actually Saints defenders ran into each other, which freed up the slot or the wideout to come in on a slant. And then as it turns out, the ball ends up on the carpet. So you'll see here there's just a slant from the outside receiver at the top of the screen here. And he comes open. And as he comes open, he ends up getting tackled, and the ball gets punched out right there. And you can see he comes down. The ball is not in his hands as he's on the ground, and the Saints recover it.
And so St. Clair with the ball. 3 wide receivers from the bottom. They look to throw again. Soja finds France. No, it goes to his arms. Incomplete.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen all that often. We already saw his awesome block to finish the first half, and this one just slipped through his hands. Maybe just got a little bit eyes forward trying to set up his blocks for the ensuing catch and run, but we didn't get the catch part. And he knows it. He's clapping himself. He's saying that's on him, and he knows it.
So I'll make it 2nd and 10. Getting almost set here for the 5 wide receiver setup. Soja looks to throw. Throws it incomplete. Calling the nearest intended receiver there. And that makes it a rare 3rd down.
Yeah, really confused sort of look from Soja as he walks off the field. He's just wondering, like, what and where. And the offense is actually staying on the field, but he didn't really throw it to anybody. Maybe his receivers didn't settle in the proper zone. They weren't on the same page, so I don't know whose fault that was, but clearly they were off on their rhythm.
So 3rd and long. Soja looks, trying to dance around the pocket, has open space to run for the first down, gets across the 20, gets to about the 16-yard line.
And it's so hard when you're the defensive force unit. You see the quarterback who's already athletic and strong, and he sprints out to his left. And nothing is there, so the back-end secondary does their job. And then when the quarterback looks to his right and he sees a gaping hole, he can jog for the first down. It's demoralizing. But when you have athleticism, it provides you that luxury.
So now the ball spotted at the 16-yard line for 1st and 10. Right past about 2 minutes through this 3rd quarter of play. Finding France again. France trying to dance. Gets inside the 5, and that's enough to make it 1st and goal.
And I like the idea. That was the first play the exact same play that Darius Franz didn't handle. This time he handled it. Just that little screen right off the get-go, and you'll see the guys blocking, and he picks up 13 yards or so, and now they're and goal at the 2-yard line.
So 1st and goal. St. Clair looking to close out the drive here. Again, the receivers bunched up, this time top right. Doyle Marshall the back. Goes to Doyle Marshall, tries to jump for it. Signal is around the 1-yard line. And now they say cross the plane. One official did, several didn't.
There was a miscommunication. The official on the side clearly said that it was 2nd down. He only had one arm up, and you'll see here on the replay that he's down nowhere near. He skipped over the line. So they're correcting it right now. It's 2nd and goal. The ball always goes back to the 1-yard line. Even though it got to the half, it goes back to the 1.
2nd and goal. Set things up now. Doyle Marshall this time does come through, straight up, touchdown.
And that's just a product of the huge mistake that Hamilton opened up the second half with. After they get a positive and a 1st down, the fumble results in a score. So you're looking at a turnaround where the Saints could have only been up 28-0. I say only because this team has been so dominant. They've had big leads the last 2 weeks at the half at 28. After 21 in the first quarter, Hamilton literally with 31 seconds left was down, or 42 seconds left was only down 28-0. Well, you turn around, you turn it into a safety, a touchdown just before the half, and another touchdown opening up, and it's already blown up to 44. So they've let themselves get into this hole when they played a little bit better in the second quarter, and those mental lapses are now really piling on, and Hamilton needs to treat this like 0-0, and as a player, I know that's super hard, Justin. You're down 44-0, but you have to play these quarters because you know next week it might be that time where finally it clicks for you. You have to put the effort in now to pay it off maybe next week.
So they'll look to kick it away here about 4 minutes through this quarter. Line drive kick this time. Picked up inside the 15-yard line. Solid return this time by Sidarius. Gets himself to nearly the 30. Should I say Aiden Gago on the return. So the Hurricanes, something's got to go, right? We've seen them nearly get the 1st down. They've not produced really any 1st downs this ball game without a fumble.
Yeah, and that's the key. They have not gotten anything going, and there are a couple good plays ended up not so good because of the very next play being a loss or on that play a turnover.
Send 3 wide receivers now to the right. Looking to throw left, scrambling left, finding some space. Oh, finding a big time hole, gets himself to about the 50.
It's a really nice play by the quarterback. He didn't lose his focus down the field. Yes, he got pressured. He saw somebody coming right in his lap. He stepped up. I'd like to see him maybe protect the ball while he's in the midst of all those bodies. But he did a nice job of hooking up with his receiver and getting the ball across the 50-yard line. And now maybe they can build 2 plays in a row together.
Jacob Horncastle on the reception, his first catch today. 1st and 10 from the 51. No wide receivers to the left. They look to throw again. Throwing out of the blitz. Hits the turf, incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, and Coach Morency just dialed up some extra pressure there. They looked like they were trying to do a little run fake to the right with a little smoke screen to the left, and they just had no time to really set this up here. So they do this little run fake, jet sweep action, and they throw back, and there's just nothing to be had because there are white jerseys all over the quarterback.
So 2nd and 10 for the 51. Run back sent out wide this time. Empty in the backfield. Looking to throw. Quickly brought down for the sack. And no place to go as D'Angelo Ones makes the sack.
Complete breakdown in assignment. No one accounted for the outside linebacker coming off the edge. They didn't slide their protection whatsoever, and as a result, quarterback just ate it. You'll just see at the top of the screen, you see just a little bit of a loop, a little dog blitz off the linebacker. The strong side linebacker comes around the horn, times it up perfectly with the snap. No one accounting for him, so the offensive line needs to account. I don't know what kind of slide or protection calls they have, or if the running back was supposed to pick that up. But any way you add it, their quarterback just took a big hit.
So 3rd and long, and the punt unit is out. St. Kitts Park and Bumbako back, and there's some problems on the snap. Inside the 10, brought down at the 5. My goodness.
Yeah, that snap just sailed. It was zipped right over his head. If the punter, and again, you're in panic mode when the ball, you'll just see this thing. It just goes right over his head. It's on a line, frozen rope right over him. And there wasn't much he could really do about it because by the time he reacted, it's gone. But maybe kick it out of the back of the end zone. Maybe try to run it out of the back of the end zone or get into the end zone for the safety. Give up the 2 so that the Saints have to scrimmage from their own 35. But that's not on the kicker. That's just obviously a bad snap. Unfortunate for the Hurricanes, who now give the Saints, 5 yards? One play later, they can have a 50-burger on the board already.
1st and goal. Doyle Marshall sets up again as the back. Kept the first stringers in for just about this whole ball game so far. They go to the ground, and this time Doyle Marshall gets stuffed.
Yeah, that was a real nice play. That was number 36 for the visitors who came in and made that stick, and it was just a nice play by the Hurricanes in that goal line situation. And you'll see they come in, and he came right off the edge and squared him up, and that was a nice job, and that is Hayden Powell.
Coming up to 8 minutes to go now in the 3rd. 2nd and goal. Spread things out a little bit this time for the bunch grouping. So Judd keeps it this time. No, Doyle Marshall should say. If there's a flag in the backfield regardless.
Yeah, that's a hold. I suspect they're going to decline this penalty and bring up 3rd down from there. It just didn't really develop as the man on the line of scrimmage got a little bit too much upfield penetration, which forced the whole thing to bubble out wider on this quarterback sweep.
Here come the officials.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
You'll see on the replay, they're just going on the outside there, and you'll see at the top of the screen, the left tackle just has a shoulder, has the arm on the shoulder, outside. Keep that inside a little bit, and they could have called the left guard as well, but I think it was the initial point of attack outside edge. This is a little surprising. They took the penalty. I would have suspected with the loss of yardage, they would have rather had 3rd down and goal rather than giving them 2 plays.
This time they do send Doyle Marshall out. They go back to the run. To the end zone, touchdown. Saja jumps his way in, and St. Clair scores again, 50-0.
Yeah, and they're not accounting for him. That's 4 or 5 designed inside quarterback runs, whether it's the lead or whether that is just a quarterback draw. They have not spied him or made any effort to keep eyes on him. And until they do, why not keep running it?
So they set up for the extra point. Jack Lewis to kick. Extra point up. And once again through. 51-0.
You'll see here on the replay, he's going to just take a step back, and then he's gone. And unfortunately, there just is not a spy to him. I gotta believe with an empty backfield like that, because Doyle Marshall's going to leave. He's vacating. Somebody's got to be watching him. No one's sitting on him. It's too easy.
And that, again, is the tale of the game so far. Look at some of the young fans watching in the grandstands here, and what has been an outright dominant performance from the Saints.
Yeah, and the house was packed. It was, but as the temperature has dropped and the night sky has coming in, and at 51-0, some of the fans have opted to find some warmer grounds.
Turn just shy of the 30. Feels like wash, rinse, repeat with the way things have gone for the Hurricanes.
Yes. And it sounds like we keep saying the same things over and over again now for the the second broadcast, but third year in a row, it seems like almost all of our broadcasts, with the exception of when London does have the one game here, or if it's the conference final, it seems like it is the same. The Saints have established themselves, and there you see Matthew Gannett, who is warming up, so I suspect we've seen the last of Maurice Soja.
First down. Throw, dropped, incomplete. Intended that time by, once again, Horncastle.
Yeah, and we got a flag on the play. This was after. We got an unnecessary roughness here. One of the offensive linemen for Hamilton took liberties.
Unnecessary roughness. 61 on the offense. Repeat first down.
No, that is not correct. That should be second down. They can accept the play. The incomplete pass could have been accepted, and they can roll the down here. That should be second down and 25 right now. It's a major foul, so they got the incompletion, but the major foul can roll the down. We can accept that down there. I think they did not give that option there. I'm almost positive. I will check with our booth in a second here to see if that is correct, but now they've rolled it. Good. They have rolled it, but he did initially say first. Okay, good. Oh, and whistles. Maybe somebody wasn't set.
Still 9 on the play clock as well. And waiting for a signal.
All right, we're just maybe some confusion. Maybe the bench wasn't made aware of it. They're not sure what's going on, because initially I did see the signal for first, but now that we have it set, the board is set on our ticker, and in the scoreboard, I should say, and the downs box is correct, second down. Unique rule in Canada. It is something unique to us that the play can stand and the major foul can be applied accordingly.
Second and 25 from the 14-yard line. Look to try and throw, forced to scramble again. Trying to throw on the motion, thrown incomplete. Ethan Robertson, that time the quarterback. That's the third quarterback, by the way, today for Hamilton.
Yeah, and he looks just a little bit inexperienced. He looks a little bit just raw. But if that's the case, again, maybe you're trying to find that diamond in the rough in this game here. Is it safety time? I think you got to try to still play football the way it's designed. Don't give them the 30-yard line again, your own 30-yard line with a bad punt or any kind of return. I think you concede the safety again. Try to force them back. Try to flip the field for yourself.
To return set back. Punter set up on their own goal line. And they will take the safety. And St. Clair's letting them take all the time they want. There's the knee down.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was St. Clair, I probably wouldn't have necessarily forced the issue too much. I probably would have just let him stand there for 5, 10, 15 more seconds. You know he's not doing anything fancy with that. Needless to say, at 53-0, the final score is the only thing that needs to be determined. We know who's going to win the game.
It's just been different classes. Surprising for the Hurricanes.
Very much so. Justin Hamilton just a couple years ago was one of those teams that you didn't want to play them, because if you caught them on one of their really, really, really good days, they beat you. But last year you could see a few things just changing over. The only good thing I really, really want to say about them is it looks like they got a lot of bodies. Let them develop and let them grow, and they'll be back sooner than later.
Matthew Gannett this time hands it off to Calhoun. Calhoun breaking some more tackles, and yet again St. Clair is on the run. Multiple flags down. Calhoun, end zone, touchdown, but will it stand? There's at least 3 flags on the field.
No, it will not. It will not. I saw at least one peel back type block. The first flag could very well have been a hold. I suspect this will drive them quite far back.
When?
Just screaming in my face right
Just
now.
now?
Yeah.
The officials concur here. St. Clair's already moved themselves back in position, already wearing the second stringers as
Yeah, let me just
talked
get
about
my
with Gannett. Peyton Harris the back. Here we go.
And a push in the rear there. We got 3 penalties. I got
We
I got a you are before first down.
a roughing play,
Here.
a block in the back, and an objectionable conduct. I don't think they can take all 3. I think they can take 2. They can take the roughing and the objectionable and combine those, stack them, and move 25 yards back from the line of scrimmage. The play can't stand because it was a touchdown, so they can move this back 25 yards and go first and 35, I think.
A lot of math coming into this play, it looks like.
I got unnecessary roughness here, blindside block. I've got an OC on black, and I have a push in the rear on white during the run.
Okay, so I thought the objectionable conduct initially was against St. Clair. So what's going to happen is they're going to move it back, that the objectionable conduct is going to negate 10 of the penalty yards.
Well, St. Clair lost 15 yards in the sequence, by the way, with all the penalties regardless.
Correct, simply because the objectionable conduct and the block in the back wash each other, because they can tack on the one with the major foul. So those wash them from the spot they have it, and now they're going to be, it looks like, first and 20.
And now back underway. Gannett tries to run out of it. Gets brought down to the backfield, so that will make it second and long.
Yeah, and that looks like it's Pal again, or Paul. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, but number 36, knifes under the linebacker and makes a nice play, making it second down and even longer.
Loss of 3 on the play officially. Coming up to 5 minutes to go in this third. One set of the motion. Dominic McKenzie was the one on the motion. They look to throw. France one-on-one coverage incomplete. Trying to get around his defender that time, couldn't. Third down.
Yeah, and I mean, good coverage. He stayed stride for stride with them, and you'll just see he just got stacked on him, and that means the receiver couldn't necessarily run to the ball. He had to run through the defender to the ball, and it falls harmlessly incomplete, and now the punt unit comes out. And if Hamilton does get a half-decent return, they'll probably have their best starting field position of the game.
Punted away by Knight. From center field, brought across the 50, brought down at about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, so there's a positive for them. They stop them, they get a good return, and they set up at the plus 48 right now. So good on them. Maybe they can get a little bit of momentum. And again, it looks like they have their third quarterback in, which maybe they are trying to get him some valuable reps, developing him. Maybe he turns into the guy to finish the season. But he is a big, tall individual.
First and 10 from the 49. For the motion, they look to throw. And two receivers thought they wanted it. One gets it. Gets enough to get the first down for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, pretty sure not by design, but you said it. Two receivers right there on top of each other. But they, at the very least, got the completion to one of the two and got a first down out of it.
Zedarius, the one who gets the reception. We've seen him a lot in special teams.
I would suspect that was the running back who erred, because the running back came out of the backfield, and I don't know if he was supposed to do a circle route and continue to come through.
And look to the ground, and the ground game immediately swallowed up again.
Yeah, this Saints team is very, very good at getting penetration, and if you don't stop it at all, any slow developing play like that jet sweep, and that was not a pop pass, that was going to be a handoff, which means the exchange is just naturally a little slower. It gets stacked up and piled up for a 4-yard loss.
Second, well, 13, 14 yards here. Look to throw again. Trying to loft it up. And almost intercepted, but a flag. Lou was the intended target. Is that going to be pass interference?
Yeah, I saw both players extend their hands a little bit here. Let's see if our camera crew can get. It's a little harder to tell. My eyes told me they were hand fighting. I don't necessarily know if I like the call, but I can't
15-yard penalty
with that replay. So I guess I'm going to have to take, I think that was Mr. Suliak's call there, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and let that pass interference stay. Yeah, it just seems like a little bit of hand fighting there, even on that replay. I don't know if there was any impediment on either part, the offensive or the defensive player.
Hurricanes now in scoring position for the first time today. 3 minutes to go. They look to pass this time. Robertson throws it to the turf. Incomplete, second down. And no one around that time. Again, more pressure in the pocket.
At least he was smart enough to realize it. I just got to get this ball back to the line of scrimmage anywhere near. So he got rid of it. Harmlessly incomplete. Don't take the sack. Don't force it down the field to somebody that is in double or triple coverage. Live to play another down. You can practice your field goal if you want to at least get on the board here. You're in field goal range, so don't drive yourself out of that option.
Second down. About to throw again. This time complete. Finally, Lou breaks his way forward. Gets it up for a first down. That moves the chains for the Hurricanes. They've got something going here to close the third.
Yeah, and if the tackle would have been made immediately, he would have been short of the yards to gain. But two defenders run into each other, and as a result, the receiver was able to turn it up the field and set them up for, I don't think it's an and goal situation. They can still get a first down, and they're at the 11-yard line.
It's first and 10 from the 11. Robertson starting to build some momentum for the Hurricanes. Looking to throw, tries to run out of the pocket. Flags start to fly. He runs out of bounds for a loss, but again, a flag is down.
Yeah, and you're going to decline this because it was a hold. So now that you've sacked him and you pushed him out of bounds, we're just going to take that big loss, roll the down. And that's the mistake. Like, I know there was a hold. They were going to be backed up anyway. But throw this ball away and at least keep it 1st and 20. By holding on to that, you're now going to, and I apologize, I might have cut off the referee there as he was making the call. You can't take that penalty. That's just maybe some inexperience there. Excuse me, you can't take that loss. Throw it away, 1st and 20 instead of 2nd down and what looks like 23-yard line, 25 yards now.
2nd and long. Marking 2nd and 25 on the scoreboards from the 26. Again, a 4 wide receiver look. 1 running back tied up towards the offensive line. Looking to throw again. And intercepted. Picked off by St. Clair. Off to the races they go once again. Off and away, Gammy Kazani to the end zone. Touchdown, St. Clair.
However, we got a late flag, and I don't, is he going to call a push in the back here? It might be. I don't know. So that's a 2nd defensive touchdown that might come off the board. The interception's going to stand here, but that flag came out awfully late, and I think you'll just see at the end here, he tries to force a slant in here. It gets too high. Nice play, intercepting the ball, and then you just have, what an athlete, turns it up the field. And you're going to see right here, there's the block. Okay, at this point, don't touch him.
During the return,
That's what they're going to call it.
On the return,
wasn't going to
10-yard penalty.
Wasn't going to do anything
First
with
down.
that. Let him go. If he happens to run him down, it's not that it's not the right call. It just had no bearing on the play. No one was going to catch the interceptor. And in this case scenario, it's just like, and Coach LaChance is just saying, like, hey, I push my hands back, and I'm just, he's up. He's pleading that it really wasn't a push. I know the replay showed it like that. I just as easily could have seen them not throw the flag on that, but the offense is going to be set up with some pretty good field position.
Under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter now. Coach LaChance very active on the sideline right now as they set things up.
Yeah, quite heated. He wants his defensive guys to get their sort of flowers, if you will, and that was 2 touchdowns now that they have. And the Saints have to call a timeout because they are a little discombobulated.
Not organized. I believe they didn't have one of the receivers
Correct.
out there.
They were 11, and they just were a sudden change. Maybe the receiver didn't realize the touchdown was called back. And or because they're changing receiver groups, they're into their 2nd and 3rd string groups. Maybe they didn't realize I was still in that rotation or that package. So,
and St. Clair doesn't even want to use all the time at the timeout in theory. It was to the point where some of the Hurricanes players had the water crew out there, and they didn't even get the water to them. They had to bring this player off there, in fact. 1st and 10 from the 20. Gannett throws, end zone, nearly intercepted. That time with the coverage, Amelia Ruda.
yeah, and that was a decent play to undercut it. I think the receiver needs to keep driving that a little deeper to the back of the end zone. The receiver flattened that, which forced Gannett to maybe throw it a shallower instead of giving him more air. But again, maybe they're not getting the game reps as much with the backup groups, so luckily it wasn't intercepted for them.
2nd and 10 from the 20. Gannett tries to scramble out of trouble, can't get away from it. Justin Tiffany this time brings him down. 3rd down.
Yeah, and a lot of heat from the backside got to Gannett. And now is it Is it field goal time? I would suspect. You do need to practice this, but well, that is the final play of this third quarter as the Saints are leading 53-0, and they will come back with a possible field goal attempt as we take a short break.
And remember, we do have some OHL preseason action coming up on We Digital. When Firebirds coming into town, it will be in LaSalle at the Vollmer Center. 7:05 start, September the 19th. Be sure to tune in. We Digital's coverage then. Hey, the fans are still active in this one. As we enter the fourth quarter of play, 53-0.
Yeah, the students are back in school as we see a very old school Fratman Letterman type jacket. Says QB maybe DB, I don't know. Either way, that is an old school jacket. Back in my days, it was the AKO Fratman.
Looks like they brought out the kicking unit to start off the fourth quarter. First time they brought out this unit tonight. Sails on through the uprights and good from Jack Lewis.
And that was good from like at least another 10 yards. That was a 40-yarder and with ease. We haven't really had to do a lot of field goals here. The Saints have been up so much they've been chip shot extra points. But yes, you don't want to see the sack. You don't want to see loss of yards. But the fact is they were able to get a field goal on the board from 40 yards. So your special teams, the mechanics of that are important.
56-0, though your score line, and so like they'll set things up from the 35-yard line coming up for the Hurricane.
I'll tell you who's happy right now, the entire defensive coaching staff, because they don't like to give up points, especially on the backs of mistakes from, let's say, the offense if they had turned the ball over or did things like that. So ultimately, the defense did their job by squeezing, intercepting. 2 touchdowns called back on the defensive side. I know they're not happy about that, but that shutout is still preserved, and Hamilton has to start at their own 35-yard line.
1st and 10. Have sustained some momentum here. This quarterback. Looking to throw, trying to air it out long, and nearly intercepted. Incomplete, 2nd down.
Yeah, quarterback is just pretty much, I'm throwing it to one person. I know I don't have much time. In that case, he knew he was just throwing the go route. Just the coverage was just there. If that ball was on target at all, 2 people could have intercepted at the corner and one of the high safeties.
Set up 2nd down. Running back in motion. Empty backfield. And the pressure gets there again. No place to go. That makes 3rd and long. Anthony Adams a part of the rush.
They brought the house. There are 7 guys in this blitz package that are coming there, and the quarterback he got that snap, and he was literally on his back foot, and the pressure was already there. That was just way too easy, and the line needs to be at least responsible for identifying, and the backs have to be active. They got to slide their protection or call for some extra help to bring it in when they see that much pressure.
So, punting units out again. And this time it's blocked. And that just snowballs on everything else here. That's brought down around the 15.
And it looks like they're set up, and that's the exact same person who made the sack. He gets the block right now. I believe they were setting up a return. They only brought 4 in that scenario. Looked like the guys were peeling off from the 2nd level to set up a return, but you'll just see a perfect run through. You have to get about 2 yards in front, cross your hands, and that way you don't run into the kicker, and that was just an excellent execution of a block. Another special team positive here. You get the field goal, and now you get a block kick. Just rolling on all 3 facets.
Reminder that tomorrow, St. Clair Saints softball and soccer will take place here at the Sports Park. Soccer at Acumen Sports Park for softball. Coverage starts 11 a.m. End zone touchdown. St. Clair scores another. John Baya this time to the end zone touchdown.
Yeah, nice job by Matthew Gannett. He looked wide and he held everyone and then came back to the middle of the field. Open receiver just snuck in and curled on a little bit of a skinny post. Easy pitch and catch at that point.
And that continues the scoring onslaught tonight. More than 60 for St. Clair. Kick is up. Kick is through. 63-0.
So you'll see here on the replay, Matthew Gannett's eyes goes way, way, way left, and then he comes back to the middle. As soon as he does that, it just freed up. I didn't look like they were in man coverage there because two guys were high, but one of the safeties came under on the look to the out, which allowed the slot receiver to climb high on that skinny post, and easy pitch and catch.
St. Clair does have themselves the first game at the home stand, looking to close out strong. They still have 2 more home games to go. What's kind of that approach now with St. Clair still 2 straight home games on the schedule before that true postseason push?
Well, I mean, it's not Hamilton, it's not Quinte, it's not GTA. It is London and Ottawa. Those are the 3 teams that are competing for the conference championship. So London just beat Ottawa today, and so that means London is in the pole position for the 2nd spot. But if the Saints stumble somehow, one of those 2 teams could pull themselves into the number 1 seed. At stake right now, Justin, as some of our fans may have known from when they tuned in a couple weeks ago, the Ontario Football Conference is the host of the national championship, which means we have the direct bye. The conference champion is going to be hosting one of the teams from out west. So having home field is just that much extra bonus if they can get home field throughout the conference championship. That this atmosphere is great. The fans have been great here. It might just be that extra edge if it's a closely contested game to bring in the national final. And on the precipice of the 25th year since the last national championship in '99, it'd be kind of pretty special if they could pull that one off.
12 minutes to go in this ball game. Meanwhile, yet again, throwing out of pressure, intercepted. This time, Brandon Vecchio.
And you know what? And this is where I know it's going to sound bad. If I'm the Hamilton coach, if this is my young kid and I want him to learn how to play, I'm not overly concerned that he's throwing interceptions. I might have to get him some reps. I might give him 3-4 more tries to throw more interceptions. Not that I want to break his confidence or anything like that. I need to get him some game reps. I need to get enough film so I can teach him. That was not a very good throw. But if you're trying to say this might be here, he might be here for 3 or 4 years, make the mistake when it's 63-0.
Quick throw, complete. Bumbako this time getting reception. And yet again, first down St. Clair.
Yeah, and it's pretty wild that a guy who's that talented in space on the return team, that's his first catch of the game, and he's such a tremendous athlete. A guy like Bumbako would start on half the teams in the conference, if not most of them. Like, I would suspect maybe not London and Ottawa, but everyone else for sure.
Ball spotted at the 25. Go run. Maybe got a couple at most there. Jesse Barella.
Yeah, and most of the O-line are subbed out. I think they dressed 9 today, so they've probably rolled that one guy through so that everyone gets a little bit of a break, but a little bit of a breakdown up front, which only allowed the running back to gain 1 yard there.
2nd and 9 from the 24. Looking to pass. Gannett throws off his back foot. Point to the back. Barella running. Trying to get to the end zone. Flags fly on the jump. He breaks the plane, but a flag is down.
Yeah, so you're going to get a hold. It was a screen. check down. No, not a check down. It was a flat-out screen. They go trips to the right. They're going to throw the backside screen to the running back. Yardage was gained, so the hold was probably at around the 5-yard line. So they'll go to the 5-yard line, back up to 10. It'll be first down.
Holding on the offense at the 5-yard line. That's a 10-yard penalty. First and 10 at the 15.
And you'll see at the top of the screen, it's one of the receivers. And you know what? I don't mind. I know I don't want to have penalties here, but when they're trying, and they're trying to make a play, there you see it right there. He's trying to knock his guy down, but he's got his arm a little bit outside. It turns into more of a tackle. I can live with that because that's an effort type block. At this point in time, the kid's fighting for a playing time. I'll give him that.
They go back to Barella this time on the ground for what's marked as first down. He picks up a few, second down. 10 minutes to go.
That was a good, tough run because it didn't look like there was much there on that little pitch play.
Clock is rolling here with the running play. St. Clair looking to continue to add on to the points. They came 1 point shy of a franchise record last game. They were out on the field. Trips right again. Gannett again throwing. This time got his man complete around the 10. Going all sorts of whirling, but flags fly all around from the Keone Elliott reception.
Unless there was a face mask there, I don't know. Like, I saw a jersey tugged. Are they calling a horse collar?
32. Okay. 32. I gotta go to the 1.
Unnecessary roughness, face mask against the Hamilton defense.
Unnecessary roughness, face mask on the defense. First and goal from the 1.
Yeah, I saw a jersey pull, but I didn't see a face mask. Now, mind you, there were 3 defenders there, so maybe our replay can pick this up a little bit. But this is just a good effort play, and when you force the guys to do it. So that's what I thought maybe they would have called the horse collar because he was pulling the back. But there you see number 32 clearly grab the face mask. 100% foul. It's going to move it to the 1-yard line.
First and goal. Barella. End zone touchdown, St. Clair.
Well, quite frankly, it would have been 3 games in a row in excess of 70 points. Last week was, 56-0, and that was at the half.
58.
58, and the game didn't even conclude. So you got to suspect you would have had 3 games in a row with monster scores. And from a lot of backup players, too, because last week the starters got 1 series in the 3rd quarter, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Last week, I think the 14 plays of offense, and they just piled on the scores. At least good plays. It wasn't even anything going on. I know GTA's in a struggle right now. Hopefully they're able to finish part of the season. This is what I don't want to see. Like, any chirping or talking, you're up 70, either side. You're down 70, you're up 70. Try to play football. You don't need to chirp. But here's a little inside run. Just a good effort from the running back. Even though he got hands on him in the backfield, he was able to fight through and carry a man into the end zone.
And a flag brought down there. The St. Clair Saints get ready to kick it off. Still less than 9
62,
minutes.
White. Penalty applied on the kickoff.
Objectionable conduct. So a little chirping. So they'll back themselves up 10 yards on the kickoff. No, right, 10 yards. Our in-house game announcer said 15, but that's an OC's only 10, so he did correct himself and get that right. So here we're sitting at a situation where from the 35-yard line, maybe Hamilton can get a good return. This coverage team has been awesome. Let's see if the return team can break through once.
Turn from inside the 25. Across 35. And the Hurricanes get themselves nearly the 40.
Okay, not bad,
An error
but
flag.
there we go again. And I just saw a pile. I saw somebody go flying into that pile. These are the things you don't want. You don't want the post-play shenanigans.
See where it may have flown from.
You'll just see at the end a couple last pushes of guys, and there's the pile. Now, who are they going to call? Are they going to call the last person on top or the first person who initiated it? They called one of each.
So both of them.
With this score, 840, 70 nothing. I would rather them just call one. Tell them, guys, we're calling one of you. We're going to penalize your team, and now you're going to have to answer to your coach. Offsetting ones, people don't think of them. They just don't have it. Send the message. We're going to call the one, and hey, coaches, keep your players under control here. We're going to penalize the first person we see. Even if they're backups, we still have to deal with that.
Looking to throw again. Trying to get out of danger, and the ball is on the ground. St. Clair gets on top of it inside the 30, and the disaster continues. Ventrios this time jumps on top of it. St. Clair ball, and this is, what, the third time? One snap, one TO?
Yeah, and this is just, again, it's just the pressure. You're bringing a halfback from depth, and he is just motoring in. Nice strip sack. He gets all the way to the high side of the quarterback, brings that right arm, swats at it, forces the fumble, and now the Saints are caught. Now look how deep he is. You see 23 coming from all the way in the defensive backfield. That's great hustle and effort.
So first down from the 27. Hand it off, and another big run. And this time Ermo getting a carry.
Yeah, and that time he was some nice blocking. He did not get touched. He got ahead of steam going through at least 5-6 yards from the line of scrimmage, and that allowed him to carry himself through to a first down.
Ball spotted out with the 16. He gets to the 6 to try and move the sticks again. They go back to a similar play. They get to about the 10.
And as a stubborn old O-line coach here, I would just like to see them say, we're running the same play 4 times in a row. They've run it twice, run it again. If they don't get it, run it again. And if you happen to find pay dirt, find pay dirt.
See if they go wash, rinse, repeat here. Under 7 minutes to go now in this fourth. Well, they changed the side of the handoff at least. And it doesn't go anywhere.
So is Coach LaChance opting to execute the field goal? So they are. And I think this is the right decision. You're not necessarily worried about trying to pile it on or anything like that. You need to still get your field goal reps. Thus far this year, they haven't had to try too many. It's all been extra points. So now, in case something happens where the ball is missed and you need to cover the kick, at this point, this close, you suspect it would sail through the back of the end zone for at the very least the single, the rouge. But you want to go through the mechanics of kicking field goals, not just extra points.
Kick is up. And kick is good. 73 points for St. Clair with the field goal.
Well, Justin, the way that Hamilton's been turning the ball over here, we might see the new scoring record. If 83 was last time and we're 2 touchdowns away, they get a touchdown and it gets to 80 and one last one for good measure. Maybe we'll be calling a new team record here.
So Hamilton take the ball again. from the 35.
Yeah, after the made field goal, if there's anyone new to our broadcast, you have the option to scrimmage from the 35 after a made field goal. Left or right hash or middle of the field, you get to choose. In this case, they go left hash, 35-yard line, with what looks like a different quarterback.
Again, keep rotating quarterbacks. This time, Andrew Galab is the quarterback. Second down. And we'll say this, they have plenty of quarterbacks that have gotten experience tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? They're letting them throw too. It just means maybe this end of this game might just take a little longer because the ball will be in the air and the clock won't keep winding down as quickly. That being said, they're letting their players play, and I'm okay with that. I don't coach to the score, coach to your players.
Under 5 minutes coming up here. Looking to run, or on the motion should say, incomplete again. This time, Cicinos trying to get the reception, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, pressure came at him, and quarterback is running for his life. If he was able to get it on him, there was a chance he could have turned it up the field and gotten the first down. But after a quick 2 and out, there is just at the 5-minute mark as we approach here, Saints will get the ball with pretty good field position and 4.5 minutes to operate.
Punt units out again. Booted away. Picked up just around the 50. Taken across center field. And walked out of bounds around the 46, 47. And some more chirping.
And yet again, a different playmaker making a play. Catches the ball, picks up almost 20 some odd yards on the return. I've always been a big believer. If you can pick up 1 first down on any punt return, at the end of the season, you'll be on the good side of it. Because if you can get 10, there's a good chance you've probably picked up a few more on other plays. That's a very good return. Catch it in the air, pick up the yardage. Now this second and third group receivers, low line quarterback are in position to maybe score again.
They go on the push pass this time. And out of bounds on the run through. Once again, that's Deshaun Johnson. First down, yet again. And at least you can say that St. Clair undefeated 4-0 with Ottawa's loss earlier we talked about with the matchup against London. Only undefeated team left in the OFC. They've got the advantage in the standings after tonight.
No question, control their own fate all the way through the conference playoffs and hopefully, if you're a Saints fan, the national championship.
On the ground. And swarmed again. Hard hit to the ground for Peyton Harris. Gets a couple, maybe one on the play. Second down. And the fans starting to get on their feet a bit here. Those who are still here at the stadium.
Yeah, a lot of the students are out partying now. They were here earlier. But it is indeed a Saturday night. First weekend back in school. They want to go have a little bit of fun.
And that throw bounced off the back of an offensive lineman, believe. People were scrambling to try and get that before it hit the ground.
Yeah, there was a little confusion because no one knew whether it was a fumble or an incomplete pass. But there was bodies in the way, and as it turned out, nothing amounts of it, and now it's going to be a third down. And are they trying a field goal? It looks like they are, which is going to be, I think, a season long at this point. They're going to try, they made from 40 earlier. They're going to try from 42 here. and the Saints are light, and they got players on the bench that are saying, where is everybody? Oh, wait, I got somebody else in here. Now I got the next guy. So here we go. And they're lucky. The refs did not have to wait to let them blow that in, but they gave them plenty of time to make that substitution.
Inside the 3-minute warning. Kick is up, nearly got blocked, and it does go through. Lewis gets it through, 76-0.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what you want to see, 42 yards. You know, the field goal game is very, very important. If you're a local football fan here, you might have heard that last weekend's Lancer football game went off on a 55-yard field goal to win it for the university. So you need these opportunities to do it. Last week, the week before, they scored so many touchdowns that it was just mechanical of the extra point. And had that missed, it would have given good video for the coaches to see, did we cover the kick properly? Now, the benefit is you actually made it, but good job at least executing a long field goal attempt at 42 yards.
1st and 10 from the 35. They look to throw again, and the wide receiver slips. It was going to be sky high. It looked like regardless, Lou on the slip.
Yeah, and the quarterback was on his back foot, and the ball did not have any zip on it and floated across from the left hash all the way out to the far side, and it was maybe 2 steps away from being a walk-in pick six. We'll see if the Saints defense can finally pay one off, because they are anxious. Every defender wants to see the defense find the end zone.
2 minutes to go. 2nd and 10. Out to pass from the shotgun. Yet again, Glob running. Trying to take it himself now. Gets pushed into his teammates. And that starts a bit of chirping there after the contact.
It appeared the contact initiated inbounds. The quarterback was trying to drive all the way to the sticks. We'll see if it was late. It appeared from our angle, but he's trying to turn it up. They're on the paint. So all things considered, yes, it looked worse than it was, but in that case, the quarterback did not give himself up. He was trying to get to the first down. It's a good play by the quarterback. It's a good play by the defensive player. And a good job by the officials making sure the bench is cleared.
3rd down again. Punt unit out again. They start trying during a little bit of clock. They now punt it away.
Good kick.
Picked up by Keani Elliott. Elliott takes it across the 30. Shows his speed across the 40. Gets across the 50. Knocked down at about the 53-yard line with under 90 seconds to go.
Really good kick and really good catch. For a 76-0 game, you're looking for a little something out of it, and you get this punter who just absolutely booms one. But then you get Elliott who makes a really nice catch. You don't want that thing bouncing around. If that bounced around, it could end up inside your own 10. Instead, he turns it into a huge run approaching midfield.
So the St. Clair offense takes over from what they've now spotted at the 52. They've brought in another quarterback. Owen Malott Bennett now in at quarterback to close out the game. Go push pass. Now another opening for Bea. Bea's already gotten a touchdown today. Brought down at about the 30.
Yeah, and unless they go for 2, if they happen to score here, I think we're stuck at not a team record, but maybe it'll be the largest win if they do happen to score and it gets 83 again. Was it a 0 last week too, or 2 weeks ago, Justin?
Believe so.
It was.
Mott Bennett, 96 yards passing on the season. He picks up some more in the previous play. And gain of a few. Clock stops at 40 seconds in the stadium. We are down to our final couple plays for the ball game. And so the St. Clair Saints get the chance to celebrate in a couple moments' time, a 76-0 win. Back to the ground. And to the end zone, touchdown. Ermo. And that should just about close it here. St. Clair runs it in, and now this should just about do it for the ball game. St. Clair sideline already wants to celebrate.
Yeah, the game board is showing zeros. Maybe the timer just let a few extra ticks run off so we don't have to orchestrate a kickoff after this. But
kick is up. And the celebration now can start 83-0.
And just that inside zone running play, the defensive end gets himself washed completely of his own doing. And the running back did not, unless he fell on his own, he did not have any stress. He had a straight line up the left hash and walked it in for a touchdown.
2 straight home games with an 83-0 score line. What else can you say, but your final thoughts on the ball game?
My final thoughts are simple. The Saints are for real. They've been playing this way. But now from our perspective, we're going to have to see how real they are, because they're about to see the top 2 teams in the conference coming back to back. So they proved to us they got some athletes. Now what they got to do is they got to prove that they are the best team in the conference against the 2 next best teams, and that is what's on the docket for us the next 2 weeks.
So remember, there is action for St. Clair Saints football next weekend. 7:30 start time to be able to tune in again. London and Ottawa, the next games on the home schedule. Close things out on that schedule. Remember, tomorrow as well, St. Clair will have softball and soccer on property. Coverage starts 11 a.m. for softball, 1 o'clock for soccer. It's time to say goodbye. For the rest of our crew, for Beniquas, for Don Papa and more, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Your final score, 83-0, St. Clair.